What up, and welcome to Split the Defense. We're doing Leafs edition post-game. I'm with my co-host CP and producer Ted, and holy shit, what a game we just watched.
Wow.
CP, what the hell happened in the first period? Because I was out playing dodgeball for Rec Sports, and I missed the first period. Now, it was slow, but it wasn't great.
No, it was not great on the Leafs' behalf. Like, basically just could not move the puck out of their own end for most of the period. The forecheck of Florida is just absolutely relentless. Like that, I know that's their thing, and they play like a heavy style and puck on net type of a game. And wow, we saw it in the first period. I was about to kick my shoes off and call it a day because I thought that this was just going down, down, down. But and Marner got hit in the face with a puck, a wrist shot by Tkachuk, square in the jaw.
Yeah, no, that's not good. I wonder if broken jaw. Can't believe
I don't know.
He did come back out. We're kicking into the second period, but he came back out. What a champion! Take a puck to the face. Oh my god! I didn't even see that. All I heard, all of a sudden, I see Marner comes out in the cage. I'm like, well, that can't be good.
Yeah, and the thing is absolutely everybody said that there's no way he's coming back. He's almost definitely broken his jaw. And that's still, wouldn't believe that he'd be in the game if that was the case. But he definitely got stitches inside his mouth, and the side of his face is all black and blue. I couldn't believe that he came back. I was shocked.
What a warrior.
Yeah.
And they were outshot 15-6 by the Panthers in the first period. Yeah, that gives you little to no hope going through, but it's one period, right? So the first thing that you noted in the first period was Timmins missed shifts, but not sure why. So what happened there? Who was playing with who?
It was a total mixed bag. Riley was playing with Benoit on the right, which he's used to. But yeah, Riley logged almost 10 minutes in the first.
I heard he played a lot tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Timmins was just over 3 minutes. I didn't see anything like a huge mistake or anything, but he definitely wasn't handling the puck perfectly. Neither him or Benoit were having great shifts. So Keefe must have seen something in Benoit that made him look better than Timmins. But yeah, 35% goal expected goals in the first too. So for the Leafs,
that's not good.
Not good at all. So it was a rough start.
Yeah. That means the other team had what's that? 65%.
65. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very good.
And it felt like it. Sometimes those stats don't really meet the eye test, but it did. I expected that it could have been 2-0 very easily. Funny?
But when your team gets a 60% or a 65%, it doesn't feel as dominant as it does when you're on the receiving end of that 65. You're 35. 65. You're no, that's good. They're above 50, winning. Just above 50. It's not 70 or anything, 75. That'd be awesome, crazy, cool. But then you're on the receiving end, you're yeah, that's 35%. And we're whoa, that's horrible. Right? 35% expected goals. Oh my God. If you're on the receiving end of that, that's not good. But on the other end, we don't really appreciate the 65%. At least I don't. Sometimes I'm yeah, it's good. It's good. But I guess you really got to think about it like that. That's very bad for the Leafs going through the first period. So getting into the second period was 1-1 to start off. The expected goals.
Sorry, it was 1-0 after the first.
It was 1-1. Okay, so it was 1-1-0 after the first. And then the expected goals for the second was 65%. So that's better. But the Leafs kill a 4-minute penalty. So what do you want to tell me about that?
They went into the period actually with power play, and so within the first 5 minutes, basically they had a power play that basically didn't go anywhere, and then they took a penalty. Domi, did you see this where Domi in the corner? Basically, he checks a guy from behind and then gets into the rough stuff with Bennett. And Bennett just total sell job on his part. It's his best hockey skill that he has. He could have been an actor as well. And
totally dove.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm not even sure that Domi hit him a second time, but total dive job. He should have got what's that called? when you embellish an embellishment.
Embellishment.
When you embellish.
When you embellish.
What's that called when you embellish? Yeah. Smart guy here.
You got it.
Yeah. But yeah, and so 4 minutes, but they killed it. And I think that there was a few things that happened here real quickly that kind of turned the cards for the Leafs.
Yeah, and so Gio leaves the game with a lower body injury and won't return.
Ooh.
That's bad. I didn't see this either. I saw like a replay. So all I saw was he took a shot off the hip, and then like he goes to the bench, and all of a sudden he's like, "Ow, inner thigh." Oh,
I think so.
Nuts. You got him.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's not. That's a touchy area.
Not shot. Like I'm done.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
it's done. We're done for tonight.
I didn't watch it a ton of times, but it hit him in that kind of region. So I mean, I think that hopefully it's just a really bad stinger. But to leave a game and he didn't come back. So yeah. We're really praying for him because we need all the help on defense. Like just losing another guy,
that we're pretty much fucked at this point. Like if without another defender, like
hopefully just a stinger to the dinger.
Nice one.
Thanks.
So something I noticed like early mid second period, like when I tuned in, I think it was like 10 minutes left in the second period, 9 minutes left. There's 9 minutes left. And anyways, I noticed like Domi took 2 shifts with the Matthews. And I was like, why is he out there? I was 11. I was like, oh, that's Gregor. Oh, it's about time Gregor got. And then I'm thinking, no, 11 is Domi. Domi's playing with Matthews. What kind of line shakeups? I know you look for this stuff, CP. What kind of line shakeups did you see tonight? Who was playing with who?
Yeah, actually, while Domi was on the line, they put Bertuzzi on there too. So there was a line of Bertuzzi, Matthews, Domi that ran out a couple times. When Marner got the puck to the face, it forced them to abandon the whole Matthews with Nylander and Tavares with Marner. They ended up putting Willie back for a bit. Like Willie was kind of playing all over, but Matthews was having a few different line partners then as well. So then Marner came back and they actually went back to running it out with Willie and Matthews together. Which like at first, like it wasn't overwhelming at the beginning of the game. Actually, like the whole team was underwhelming, right? So I did like that he stuck it out though with those line pairings once he got Marner back. But a little bit of juggling, but not a true like we're throwing everything out and going for it.
Right on. So Gregor, absolute beauty. He's the hero tonight. Leafs score. Gregor scores the first goal, ties it up in the second period. This is where I came in. I was finishing sports and I went to a restaurant that may or may not be owned by the heir of our general manager. And I had a beverage and I was watching the game with a few of my teammates. And it was awesome to watch a guy come down the line and score like that. And I was like, wow, you don't see goals like that very often. Who is that? Noah Gregor. You know what? Yeah. That is a guy. I heard earlier somebody say this. But if he put 20 a year in the net, if he could do that, he'd get paid $4 million. If he could put 25 a year in the net, he'd get 6. The man plays so hard. He's such a good skater. He's so good in every other aspect, but actually putting the puck in the back of the net. Like, I love Noah Gregor as a player. He's a hero tonight. Like, I mean, he was the hero in OT, right? He was the one who won he's on OT, but even the shootout. Which is craziness. So we'll get into that. Yeah. But Noah Gregor being the hero on both ends of this, like he's a guy. Like I hope that he gets more chances in an offensive role because like I don't know, like he reminds me of like a different type of Zach Hyman, Michael Bunting. Like if he can maybe figure out that hands thing, like he could play maybe something like that. I guess he's got that offensive upside. Yeah, Ilya Mikheyev might be that kind of guy. He's defensively really good. He's really fast. And it feels like he's got more of an asset in that speed than Calle Järnkrok. He's got more instinct, and he gets to the net and he gets his shots, but they just don't go in, man. His shooting percentage is so low. He gets a lot of shots. They just don't go in. That's the thing.
I mean, to his credit, a lot of his shots come from like just inside the blue line. Like he's notorious for just like putting pucks on net. Like he creates chances for other people too that way. So Like you're naturally going to
playing
have
with Kampf and like what Reeves, like how much
Yeah.
chances are they're gonna create for them? Like like hopefully Kampf Reeves.
But you want to get as
like,
many on net as possible.
absolutely. But it'd be nice if he was with somebody who could actually score, get one on net, and then somebody can actually bury. Like,
well, that's where
that's
like
why the Leafs need like a real third liner to come in and then put Yarncroke down with Gregor, and Yarncroke and Gregor might actually work well together on the fourth line, right? Like that could be some goals.
Do you guys want to hear the Gregor goal call? You want to put that in? I got it right here if you want to hear it.
Do it.
Yeah, sure.
Let his D handle the puck. Gadjevich all down there and look out. Here comes Gregor in on Stolars. He scores.
You can hear the ding, eh?
Yeah.
Nice. It was a nice read, the way he picked up the puck, and you could see he was outside of the zone. And they mentioned that most of the time the defenders are defending high. And in that moment, Gregor turns his head and notices that his defenders are back and low. So he has a chance to take, like he has an opportunity to take a chance. And he goes and he takes that chance and it works out, right? Like he gets a streak up the ice. A lot of times, like if you don't win that puck battle, something goes wrong and your guys are high and somebody's still down low. I think it could go really things could go bad. They could turn that around pretty quickly. Guys could be transitioning, backing up around the line, even once it got poked out. But as soon as it got poked out and around him, for him to read that, to see that it was open and that he could do that, he turned back. He's like, you know what, I've got a whole bunch of support back, so it's fine if I just go with it. And I don't know, like what other guy on this team, like maybe William Nylander, but like even Mitch Marner, who's great, and Austin Matthews, who's amazing. Like those guys, do they have the speed that goes down the ice with that, like Noah Gregor does? Like he really takes it. There's guys like Kasperi Kapanen and Michael Grabner and some old Leafs that I've watched that are just so fast. Fast. Right? They get so many opportunities and they're playing lower in the lineup and they're clearly better than their competition, but they cannot bury.
Yeah, and I think like he gets his feet going, right? And that's like a lot of guys can get up to speed, but then they start to coast once they get pressure. Where like he keeps his feet going, like you said, like William Nylander. I think Matthews is obviously a guy who can do stuff like that, but he's typically being so defensively responsible. He's so low in the zone, right? Like he doesn't get those opportunities. And I think that's one of the reasons why Willie never really worked out at center, because he likes those opportunities. So, but yeah, I think Gregor on a third line, like that could be a 20 goal scorer. Like Calle Jarnkrok has had 20 goals. And so I think that it'd be tough for him to get that opportunity. And even if he gets better line mates on the fourth, like I'm not sure he gets the time for that, but I've loved him, and what a friggin' breakout game for him. I'm like, couldn't be happier. Like sometimes you don't really know who's going to be the star of the game. And yeah, really did well with that goal. And yeah, we'll get into the shootout in a bit.
So Keefe was losing it in the second period, like absolutely losing it on the bench. And like it's all over the Twitter, all over the internet. It's a lot of fun watching it and everybody's reactions to what he's saying. You could just make up. He is losing it. How much do you think that played into them actually scoring that goal and doing better in the rest of that period?
Like it's hard to say.
He's a motivator?
He looked motivating to me the way he was screaming into Bertuzzi's ear. But also Domi got into a fight and killing off the penalty and the fight for Domi, like it was right after that they scored. So, I mean, I think it was just like a few things that came together where they just started to turn it on from like this point forward. Just before they got the goal, like I think it was halfway through the second period. Just like a flip of the switch, and it was basically they figured out the forecheck of the Panthers. And yeah, it could have turned quicker, and we didn't necessarily need to go to overtime. I felt like the pressure was on, but it all started in the second.
Yeah, absolutely. Because in the first period, expected goals 35%. In the second period, expected goals 65%. In the third period, expected goals 65%. So on the receiving end, they were 35%. So it literally flipped. Like in the first period, it was the Panthers game, and they had 65, and we had 35. And then the second, we had 65, and they had 35. And in the third, we continued it with 65% expected goals for. That's not exactly what goes in, but those are generated chances by people who we trust to be smarter than us. So expected goals are honestly one of my favorite measured stats, along with high danger chances. because you have to think something that's more likely to go in than not. People flub things, but with the skill that's in this league, you can see with the high danger chances and the expected goals that if it gets saved, it's a goal. It's now goal saved above expected because that goalie should not have saved that. That should have been a goal.
Yeah.
Right. So the first thing that happened that you noted in the third period was the Matthews big hit. But he's been doing this for a while. So what happened? What happened? Who did he hit? I didn't even see that.
I don't even remember the guy's name. You didn't see it? Like I actually, my hip hurt just from watching it. It was crazy. Matthews hit a guy right by the benches, and about like it was a bit of one of those dirty hits a little bit where he's 4 or 5 feet off the boards and didn't necessarily go right down before he hit the boards, but yeah, like he sends them. So
like with a hip check.
Yeah, he hits him hard. Like not a hip check, like where he goes down, but like he throws his whole body and like really most of Matthews' hits aren't massive hits. But yeah, he was like
some of them
trying to send
he's
someone.
a big boy. Like he throws some pretty big hits. I've seen there was one where like last year, maybe early this year, I think it was last year, but he just knocked somebody off a puck, stole the knocked a guy off the puck. I think it was the beginning of this year, actually. Just hit him, took the puck, put it in the back of the net, and I was like, yes, that is what we need. We need to see that, right? Like, I wish we saw more of it.
Yeah, like he doesn't throw it like Brady Tkachuk does, but he has the ability to. He's just as big.
No, but he's a totally different player. So there was 4-minute power play with 3 minutes left in the third for the Leafs. This I saw. Noah Gregor got a high stick to the face, which was awesome because there's no call initially. Nobody sees it, but he's literally bleeding, and they're allowed to review that because there's literally blood. We missed something. We clearly missed something. Let's go back and look. If there's no blood, they can't go back and review. But if there is, it's like, well, we clearly missed something. So they go back, they review it, they get a 4, and the Leafs, I mean, like they didn't take advantage, but like they owned, right? Like they kept their pace at that point. I feel like I don't know very much what to say from there because I really just want to talk about the big thing that happened at the end of the game. So the next thing, like, do you have anything to say about the 4-minute power play? There was nothing really happened. They owned it. It was great, but
they had some chances, but right at the end of the game, they actually almost like gave up a couple breakaways for Florida, which was kind of scary. But like I don't know, they didn't take advantage. It wasn't bad or anything. It's one of those power plays that they didn't get one. I always expect though for 4 minutes that like you should get one. Yeah. All like at this point too, like we're in a total goalie battle. Like it was one of those games where now we're up into the 30s for each in shots for both teams. Both goalies just looking unbelievable. So part of power plays not working is when a goalie just decides to shut the door. And yeah, both goalies tonight just stood on their heads.
Yeah, goalies definitely looked good. So there was more than 27 minutes for Riley tonight. Riley played a whole crap ton. He played 22 minutes and there was like half of the third period left, or more than half, like 3/4 of the period left. And Gord noted that, and it was like, holy smokes, 22 minutes. So I was thinking, well, he might play 24 or 25, right? 13 minutes left. I think there was maybe 14 minutes left. And it was like, you think he's not going to play that much. And then all of a sudden near the end of the game, you hear them note, Riley's played over 27 minutes. Riley's been so good this year though. Like, do you even have a problem with that?
I mean, I do in a sense that I don't want to burn him out, but I mean, he's been by far the best defenseman, and just he's taken a step up in playing in his own zone. There was a couple plays even just tonight where making just elite defensive plays and stepping up kind of as TJ Brody kind of takes a step back. He's much different of a player, and it's what we were kind of, or at least I've always wanted from him, like a little less offense, a little more defense, and it's what he's providing. Yeah.
And he's got that touch in the right moment. That's the thing. He's just like, I think he was trying to create that moment too much. And instead, I think he's reading the moment more often.
Right.
I think that works well for Riley. Like, you know what I mean? Like because you have to try, you have to put the shot on net to score, right? But and if you don't, then you won't score. You have to go up in the rush if you want to be involved in an offensive play. And I think he was trying because you only have a percentage, maybe 50% work or right, 10% work, right, in your play, depending on whatever it is. But I think Riley has a better idea now of reading that 10% of when it's good to go up. He was going up maybe 15 or 20% of the time and saying it's fine because I know like at 10% I'm going to do it. And maybe now he's accepting maybe like it's okay because if I go up 10% of the time, I'm still gonna get maybe an 8% success rate or 7% success rate because my reads are better, right? So like I think that's part of what it is. Like I honestly, the best part about Morgan Riley for me this year, I haven't really noticed him. Like in a bad way. Like in good ways, I've certainly seen him and been like, yeah, Mo. But it's not like, oh, Mo.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
We saw like last year was rough. Like
especially at this time of year. Yeah. He got better as the year went on. But this time last year, we were wondering about the contract that he's just signed. You know, it was, we were having those discussions. And nowadays, no one even talks about him because he's just doing what he's, I guess, paid for. But
thing.
just like, he's not really making any false steps. Every highlight reel, he's on the good end of it. So,
yeah, it's awesome. So the craziest thing, so we're going to get into the crazy part. Show's almost over. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Split the defense. Craig Pearce, producer Ted, and I'm Jordan Webster. Too many men at 5 seconds left in the period. So the Leafs are on the power play and there's too many men.
And it wasn't even a penalty.
5 seconds left in the period. So they go into the 3-on-3 overtime and they did that at 4-on-4. Because that's how that started. But like, what a nut show. Like, honestly, like I was seeing, like, it wasn't even really a too many men. Like it was, but it wasn't. Like I've seen too many men's not be called when the puck was that far away.
Well, the refs made the mistake of they thought that one of the players going off was the intended substitution when it was actually someone else. So like, there was only 6 players on the ice at once, and 2 of them were like getting off, and then they had 4 players on the ice, and somehow there's a penalty. Like it truly, I think, was a miss. And it's hilarious that
everybody
the Leafs
just wants to call one because the Leafs do it so much.
Yeah, like it was like we hadn't had one, and the refs were like, "Oh wait, we have to give the Leafs too many men.
Mandatory. This is what happens every game. Like they always take one. Oh wait, the Leafs didn't take a too many men penalty tonight. We
better get it in.
Yeah, lock it in. 5 seconds.
We have a
left.
quota, boys. Quota.
Yeah.
Don't want to be fired by Gary.
Yeah,
what a
won't
nut
get their
show.
bonus.
So we go to overtime. It was exciting. There was a whole bunch of opportunities, like even a bunch of opportunities tonight where the Leafs should have won. I'm just gonna kick back into the game before we get right into this. Like there were so many times where the puck squeaked through the goalie and didn't go in, or Nylander hitting 2 posts, and then like it was opportunity after opportunity, and the Leafs just couldn't bury. They had to go to overtime to try and win it. Like. Honestly, I could myself see this game being, like you said, 4-5-1 if the net was an inch wider. If it was an inch wider, those pucks would have been in the net. Bars and what I thought when that puck was slow up against the line, like it crept through his legs, the Florida goaltender. I can't even remember who was in net for them. Stolarz. When it crept through his legs, I was thinking, Marc-Andre Fleury. You taught him that trick. He built the snow up on the line. Yeah. And now the puck won't go through. You bugger. Right? Like, oh, man. They had so many opportunities is what I'm saying. And, like, it shouldn't have come this far. But, like, overtime was exciting. Overtime was great. But really the craziest thing that happened that we have to talk about, at the very end of the fucking game, Rodriguez scored the game-winning goal. Florida wins. I walk into here to do this show right here, right now. Holy shit, Florida wins. You know what I'm saying to my dad? Like, I'm calling it. I'm like, the Leafs are going to lose. you guys all know the reverse jinx. I'm like, Leafs are gonna lose. Leafs is fine. I go to the bathroom, take a pee, come back out, shoot it, it's still going. I'm like, I told you Leafs are gonna lose. And then I got up and I just looked at my dad. I was like, Leafs are gonna win. And then I just watched, and they didn't make sense. I'm like, fuck. So I'm like, okay. So we kept watching. They lost, and I was like, I knew from the beginning they were gonna lose, as we always do as Leafs fans. We always think we know that they're gonna lose. It gets to overtime. They have a chance to lose. They're done. Right? We're always down on that. There's a chance. That's why we have hope. Maybe we're like a little Timon and Pumbaa. What's that? I can't remember what they're called. But you're looking up, and you're like, oh, maybe it's good. Oh no, it's bad. It's very bad. Anyways, so we're watching the game, and I'm up and I'm down, and then this happens, and I come in, and we go to get recording, and my dad yells out, "Hey, it's not over yet." So I run back out to the TV to check with him. And the game's not over because apparently Evan Rodriguez double touched the puck when he put it into the goal. Honestly, boys, I think we got away with one there because it didn't really look like he made a second movement, but they thought he did. It just kind of the puck bounced and it touched his stick again, and it still went in because he was continuing the motion. But
still a double touch.
Yeah,
it's an interesting one. I've watched it over a few times now, and it's interesting. It's close.
I think it just depends what the rule is. I think it doesn't matter if it's one motion. I think if the puck touches your stick 2 different times, it's dead.
What about stick handling? You're touching it like 8 times back and forth. Like,
but you can't hit it off the goalie and then hit it back in again.
Yeah. You also can't do a spinorama.
Like if he pad saves it right back to you, you can't roof it on him.
He did. It wasn't like a rebound though. It's not like it bounced back. It was like so immediate. Like he's still in the motion.
It didn't feel like Rodriguez pulled his stick back and then shot again. It felt like he was shooting. The puck hit and he continued shooting, and it also continued going in the net.
I know
it was all in one
weird.
Motion. So it is weird. Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't want to read too much into it because I just want to be happy about it. But it is a close one. Yeah, it definitely. They could have let it go, and no one, I think, would have said anything about it. Right?
I think that's it exactly right there. It's something that could have got just left as is, and that could have been a game winner. But I wonder, it wasn't. It wasn't over.
I wonder if the head ref up in the booth just like flipped a coin. It's just like, all right, who wins this game?
That sort of feels like sometimes the NHL is so rigged. But I don't think it is. So that win brings the Leafs into third place tie with the Red Wings at 11-6-3. They have 25 points. The Panthers are ahead of them at 28 points, and the Bruins in first place at 31. Bruins have lost 3 in a row. They're coming back down to earth. But the Leafs, they needed this win tonight, man. Like, they really needed this because if they didn't keep pace with the Red Wings and the Panthers are already doing good and we already know the Lightning are good, it's starting to look bleak. Like, this team would be mid, chasing wild card, second wild card kind of stuff. And we don't want that, like, at all.
Yeah. I want to just go back to the shootout here for a second because after they didn't allow the goal, Noah Gregor just walks out there and just roofs one. Like,
what a stud, what a hero. Like,
what
put
a
him on
shot.
the line with Matthews. I don't even care. Like, I love that kid. Like, put him out there. I don't even care. Matthews, Nylander, and Gregor. Like, absolutely. I want to see this kid. He's so fast. He's so good. Like, Hyman 8.0. We all miss Hyman, and we've been looking and trying to replace, like, Hyman. There he is right there. Like, maybe he has hands of stone, but he's way faster. He can dig for pucks. He's gritty, man. Like, he is not afraid, and he is not shy to get in the muck. Like, that guy, I love Noah Gregor as a player. You know what? He's going to make so much money on a different team next year.
I think he should have been in the shootout earlier. I think Keefe was lucky that they got a chance to put him in, that it didn't end. He's your one goal scorer in the game, and you don't put him in the shootout. The kid's hot with a goal like that. What was Sheldon thinking? I gotta ask. Like, that was
I think
odd.
that Keefe has taken so much heat from not putting out the big guys for shootouts because he used to overthink it and put in the guys who were playing good that game, and just everyone tore him apart for it. So I think he's just locked in that, like, I put
It has
Willie
to
out
be the
first,
big,
Matthews
yeah.
second, and Marner's third. And after that, I can mix it up. But yeah, I think that it's more of a
Matthews finally
media
got
thing.
that goal to go away. Like, he's been trying that
was
so
sweet.
many times. The deke, and then just slide one between in the 5-hole. Like, it finally went. He finally got one. I've seen him try that so many times.
Yeah.
Like, it has to be half a dozen times I've seen him try that. And it doesn't work. It doesn't work until it finally worked tonight. So, it was nice to see. Big win for the Leafs.
Big win.
Yeah. Props to Wall as well, because like he was all the way into the dressing room before they had to call him back out to make the game-winning save. So that can't be easy.
Wow.
That's nuts. Yeah. And they're like, all of a sudden, it's not over, actually. And he's like, fuck off.
Yeah. I'm just glad he didn't take his chest protector off yet. Like, that could have taken a while.
And they're like, no, seriously. Like, the goal doesn't count. And they're like, what? Like, can you imagine how you feel as a player? Like, these are just kids. These guys' minds must have been blown. Like, what? We have another chance? Another life?
I didn't even see, but I wonder if Gregor got the chance because he was still on the bench or something. You know, like instead of sending someone out who was already in the dressing room with their mind out of it, like, you know, maybe he was just the guy there. I didn't really see that part.
That's true too. Although maybe you were thinking maybe it's in the back of Keith's brain the whole time, like you say. And he's like, I know I have more skilled shootout guys. I'm gonna put this guy, put this guy, put this guy. But like Gregor is like, no, shut up, Keith. Like, I know that's just because you were a fringe player too, and you really you just want to love these guys. Like, no, don't leave Noah Gregor alone. And then all of a sudden, this happens, and he goes, you know what? Screw it. That's what we're doing. We're putting it right there, and we're going to do that thought. Noah Gregor, go and try it. And he scores a goal, and Keith's like, I'm a genius. Because you know what he was saying on the bench earlier in the game to all those guys? I'm going to lose my job because of you.
Yeah. And the guy on the fourth line saved his
butt. I have a family and a reputation. And tonight it's really nice. I know big win for Keith, big win for the team. Noah Gregor was an absolute hero in this game tonight.
Yeah. I think Keith owes him a beer.
Maybe 3.
Oh yeah, maybe 3. All right, well that's awesome. I think that's a good wrap up right there. Are you guys happy with that, or any rapid fire thoughts here?
No, I think we got to it all. Like I loved that our goal. We finally had a goaltender this game, and without one, this would have been a very different outcome. So, just I think that it was all together like a good battle game, very enjoyable. But
big win.
Big win.
That's awesome. All right, well this has been Split the Defense Hockey Podcast, Leafs post-game edition. We might start to do this a little more often. It was fun. We will be back for a Friday episode, and we got lots to talk about still. So we will catch you then. I'm Jordan Webster with my co-host Craig Pearce and producer Ted Evans. And we will catch you Friday. Peace.
Peace.
You've been listening to
Split the Defense.
We're Jordan Webster, Ted Evans, and Craig Pearce talking about the NHL and all things hockey.
Split the Defense
Can be found wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. It's also broadcasted on Amherst Island Radio, 101.3 FM, and online at CJAI.ca.